All right, hey everyone. Let's just do a quick little review on Spy because, things are pretty much acting the way we expected, and we are not geniuses by any means, but we've been doing this a long time, so we know what to look at. By the way, do you friggin' hate Grammarly as much as I do? Every time I try to type something, whether it's a friggin' email, a Word document, it's like, Grammarly, blah, 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 sign up. I'm going to put Grammarly on my new things of list of things I hate. And, I'm a pretty positive guy. So let me just say I'm positive I hate it. All right. Anyway, let's look at the markets. And I mean, is Grammarly even traded? Let's see. I mean, hopefully it won't tell me I'm spelling it wrong. Grammarly. Grammarly. I guess not. It's probably owned by something else. Anyway, all right. So we talked about how sometimes markets are easy to read, sometimes they're difficult to read. And when they're difficult to read, it's because there's like no clear leadership, there's nothing obvious going on. But that's not the case now. Now this is an easy market to read. And it really just comes down to two big stocks, Nvidia and Microsoft. I mean, I'm going to go to Microsoft first because it's bigger. Or actually, you know what? Maybe I should go through these sectors and I'll get to Microsoft and Nvidia towards the end here. But all right, let's look at the S&P 500, see what it did today. Yeah, a little bit of a bounce, but not surprising considering the move lower we had. It's just a little bit of a consolidation, profit taking. Still in a downtrend, not a decisive move, even though it was up 1%. Sometimes in markets, a move could be relatively big, at least from a technical point of view. A move could be relatively big, but kind of be meaningless. Sometimes a move can be really small, but be very meaningful. So, what's the difference between like an important day and an unimportant day? And we're talking as traders now. Well, an important day is a day where a trend line gets broken, something fails or rallies off of support or resistance. So if you're a real short-term trader and you're really nimble, and I know a lot of you are, hopefully you caught this move today. But in general, it's pretty hard to counter trend trade. To trade against the tide. The market's like the tides, right? Like the long tide is coming in. Well, I haven't used that analogy in a long time. No pun intended. But within the tide coming in, you get all these zillions of different little trends of the tides, going back out. Or I guess you could say the long term thing is the trend is going out, and you get all these little things coming back in. Whatever, it's the same thing. So anyway, that's the S&P. And as we talked about, this whole market right now, at least for the next couple of days, is Microsoft and Nvidia. All right. Sometimes it's financial, sometimes it's healthcare, but those are important too. We're going to look at those too. I would say on the scale of A, B, C, D, or E, whatever. Microsoft. Did I just say A, B, C, D? I meant to say F. Well, I guess it shows you why I wasn't an A student. I was down in the E and F category. All right. Anyway, so Microsoft got to a level there. Not surprisingly, there was support because it was resistance, as we talk about all the time ad infinitum. If a market's trending lower and you're wondering where to buy it, well, look at levels that were resistance before. There tends to be support at levels that were resistance. All right. Now, let's look at NVIDIA, the other most important thing to watch. This is finding support at levels that were support before. So, in terms of just the general market, I mean, if you want to be long, you want to trade long. I think as long as Nvidia and Microsoft are above these levels, you're going to be okay. But me, I'm kind of leaning to the downside. I think these levels are going to break. I mean, look at Nvidia, right? Notice how we got this lower high, right? Markets go in peaks and valleys, and when the peak forms at a lower level than the prior peak, we call that a lower high. And it's not just symbolic. It shows us that as time is going by, the sellers are more aggressive. They're willing to accept lower prices. So in the Nvidia, we're going to be watching, and of course, make sure you check back. We look at this. Like this is what we do at the stockmarketjobber.com. We read the markets, and if you can let the market tell you what to do, and not some friggin' guru out there, former hedge fund trader, which I say mockingly because I was actually head of trading at different institutions. I mean, I probably oversaw the trading, I don't know, 10, 15 different hedge funds. I mean, believe me, it's not that big of a deal to be a former hedge fund trader. Plenty of former hedge fund traders suck. Maybe that's why they're a former hedge fund trader and not a current hedge fund trader. So you must be like, oh, well, Mark, why are you a current hedge fund? Well, I decided to leave the business like 6 or 7 years ago because it just got so not fun. Too much compliance, whatever. But anyway, so now I'm a teacher. I like to teach people like yourself. So lower highs, test and support. There's a good chance this breaks. Supports this large group of buyers. If the market goes lower, what does that mean? Well, it means the buyers are out of the market. They finish their orders, they cancel their orders. Either way, when you take buyers out of a market, the sellers have to push the price lower to get their orders executed. And that could force us into a downtrend. So Microsoft, we don't see this, the same thing with the lower highs, but whatever. So here we're going to be watching this level. If these guys simultaneously break, and we're going to go look at the financial sector here, and this level, like we just saw on Microsoft, levels that were resistance can become support. If this level becomes support, and this scale is bigger than it seems, like, this line here is like 42.50. The thing's trading at 43. It's only 50 cents. All right. So there's another important price level to watch. Healthcare sector, same thing, right? We sell off, find support at a level that was resistance. We're seeing that in a lot of charts. And that is very typical of a market that's at a top. When you see a lot of things like ripping higher and then reversing and finding support at the levels that had been resistance, like here, well, a lot of times that's the first stage of getting set up for a big move lower. So, markets move, right? People, short traders profit, they take profits, long traders take profits. There's never really a straight line. There's always some kind of a little bit of reversion. Market's going like a staircase of trading ranges. So, I mean, you got it right there, everybody. Watch the level of Microsoft I talked about, watch the level in NVIDIA I talked about, watch the level in the financials I talked about, and here, watch the levels in the healthcare sector. If these things hold, the market's going to be okay. But if they all start to break, we're going to be on the verge of a pretty freaking meaningful down move. And we kind of, that's just how markets are. They don't go up forever. People seem to forget that in euphoria. Is it confusion because of this whole thing with, like, Biden and his, continuing unexplicable behavior? Or is it just because the markets have gone up for so long, there's just due to be some profit taking? I have no idea. All right. I always say, if you're a trader, having an opinion is a bad thing. If I've been doing this for 25 years, all right? If you just try to associate every single little move with some kind of fundamental news story, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Shut the news off, listen to the charts. Is it the chicken before the egg? Who the hell cares? I don't care if this is the chicken or the egg. The charts is what tells you how to make money. It's not the news. All right. All right. Well, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions, mark at stockmarketjobber.com, or hit me up on YouTube. And yeah, make sure you check in tomorrow, because there's been a lot of money made over our community here over the last few days. And, I've been on the sidelines because I'm too caught up with teaching and so forth. But hey, I take checks, I take crypto. Actually, I don't take crypto. But if you send me enough, I would figure out a way to. All right. Anyway, just kidding, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow morning.